Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. I'm going to do, excuse me, a couple more little hats, I think, for today, and then we'll kind of see where things go from there. All right. And today I'm working out of my Funto watercolor book. You can see all the little cutie things I've been painting in here. And I did this on, was it Friday, I think? So we'll do another set of clean pages for today. I do like to use a clip to kind of hold it open a little bit, but the pages are super duper thick, so you can kind of paint on both sides. I think I'm just going to start with I'm actually going to, well, do I want to start with this? Let's start with it. So this is one of the items you will find in the, what do you call it? The Meet-In Advent Calendar. So I'm just going to kind of see how it paints first, and then we'll see if we're going to use it. I'm guessing it's good because for the most part, I have never been unhappy with Meet-In paints. So I'll just pin this for you guys. Like with anything at this point, because we're getting so close to the end of the Christmas season, if you're ever going to order something, just make sure that you're checking shipping times, because I would hate for it to get too late. I would imagine this is probably the last weekend that you can really shop for any of these art supplies to guarantee shipping arrives on time. Yeah, these are super solid. And again, this is coming right out of the Meet-In calendar, Advent calendar. So you get a bunch of different things in it. I'm not going to go through all of it, but you will definitely get some paints. You'll definitely get a brush. There's some pastels. There's lots of mixed media stuff in the calendar, actually. And then just some really fun little token items that are fun as well. And then last but not least, my favorite, always my favorite, a green. Okay, so those are the colors we're working with. And then the pastels that you can get in this set are these 5. So I'll show them on here as well so you guys can see them. So you've got your standard white. Got that wet over there. You've got your standard green. And these are oil pastels, so they do take some dry time. You've got a silver. You've got a red. And you've got a black. So that's super duper fun. So we've got that. The other thing that I'll show you that comes from the Advent calendar, I'm not going to show you anything else, just those 3 things, is you get little washi tapes that have little holiday like stuff on them. So this is just one of them. You actually get 2. I'll just show the one so I can leave some of it as a surprise. But I'll do a really quick little Christmas tree with you guys because I really have no idea what I was painting today otherwise. I have other plans for this coming week that I still might give a shot and try, but we're just going to use this washi tape to make a real simple little Christmas tree. So you guys can see how you can use all the supplies I just showed you from the Advent calendar using the 1, 2, 3 things that I have from the Advent calendar. Leave a little bit of space on the top, and I might just leave this, well, let's just go all the way. Let's just put the full tape experience right in there. Okay, and we're just going to use this little paint set. We're going to use some of the oil pastels, and then we're also going to use, obviously, the tape to kind of create that viral little tape tree, right? Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is one of my more popular paintings was the circle painting, where you go in and you do a lot of little circles. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a lot of little circles. The one I did was in green and blues, I believe. So I think let's just do that again. So we're going to grab a round brush. This is a size 4 round. I'm just going to do some little circles in here. I'm going to wet my brush a little bit more. We're just going to make some little circles like polka dots inside the tree. And we can connect them to previous polka dots, or we don't have to. But we're going to change up the colors just to create a little bit more interest. Part of me wants to do red, but then I'm a little worried that if I do the red, it'll get super muddy. So let me do this first. I actually think I would like to do the red. Let me think. Is red a good choice? Hi, Deanna. How are you? I'm trying to decide if I want to do the red or not. My little palette. Let's keep it in the greens and blues, I guess, for right now. And then I'm just going to go in here. I'm going to paint more little circles, and I'm going to connect them. I'm also just going to add water certain spots to kind of spread this out. I'm thinking of painting a fireplace after this. What do you guys think? I might do a fireplace after this one. But I wanted to try these paints because I haven't tried them yet. And I got the advent calendar a while ago. But I just wanted to see how vibrant and bright they were. And obviously, they're very good. And then I'm just going to go back in here with water and just pull some circles out with the paints that are already down to create a little bit more transparency. So it doesn't look so heavy-handed. You know what I mean? Okay. And then something like that, I think. Let's see. Fire is so fun. I'm in a pretty good place. I'm happy because my hectic weekend is slowed down a little bit. Yesterday was crazy. I'm going to use my heat gun, guys, so pardon me. I had a meet, my daughter, well, I had to volunteer for a meet yesterday because my daughter's gym was running the meet, and it's the one fundraiser they do for the year. So I had to go and do that for a few hours. We had a family gathering at my aunt's house, who I haven't seen in ages. So we had that. I'm doing the tape pull, guys, while I'm talking. And then I also had a performance in the morning for my other daughter, who did a musical cabaret. So it's been busy, but today I'm hoping to be just a creative day. That's kind of the plan. So look how cute that is. And with a little bit of heat and a little bit of tape pull and a little bit of watercolor, you can kind of create these like really kind of fun things. Now, if I really wanted to, if I wanted to be really brave, I could do it again, but this has already got a little bit of tape water on the back. So I'm going to create maybe a couple of these. I think that could be fun. So I'm going to do a couple more of these. I'll do another one. Let's do another one. Well, I'm debating about overlapping, if I should overlap or not. I think I should. This will not pull the paint up off the page, or at least it shouldn't. I mean, we'll find out, right? Pull that down. This looks a little bit wobbly. Let me move this over. See, this is the nice part about washi tape. It's not super sticky. It won't like go crazy on the paper. Just make sure that you're careful with that, because sometimes the not so sticky will lift while you're painting something. So just make sure it's down. I'm going to do this a couple more times. There we go. I think that's better. Okay. And I think I'm going to do another one just like this one with the same paints. So this one might be a little bit more narrow. This time I'll start with the blue. And I think I'm going to make it a little bit darker too, because the closer something is to you, the darker it is. That's kind of like the foreground, background rule. So I'm definitely going to darken this one up a little bit more. And you can do this with any art supplies that you have. I'm using my Funto sketchbook because I can do lots of things in it and I'm not worried about anything in it being precious. I feel like I've gone down too heavy on these. So I'm going to lift some of these up a little bit. Like I don't want them super wet. I want some of them to be a little bit more transparent. So I'm just coming back here and lifting some of this paint out a little bit. And usually what I do is my fingers get really messy real quick. To control the water, I squeeze the water out of my brush instead of just like drying it on a paper towel because I feel like I have a little bit more control that way. All right, so I'm going in here with a bit of a darker tone of blue. Kind of like that foreground thing I was just talking about. Okay. And then while that's drying, I'm going to do another tape over here, I think. Yeah, I know. I've had that problem many times. Though to be fair, I don't really pay too close attention because I'm often getting the cheapest washi tape I can find and then regretting it later and then being like, this did not work the way I wanted it to. And usually my problem is the washi tape usually bleeds through and then I'm super annoyed. I'm like, ah. So, all right. This one's going to be down even bigger. And again, this washi tape came out of the Meeden advent calendar. And I don't think they sell it otherwise. I've never seen them sell it. So, all right. So let's go in here again. I think I'm just going to keep the same palette. Again, we're just going to keep darkening it up as we go. If this is looking a little wobbly, I'm getting the circles bigger too. Because the closer you are, the bigger the circles. And then when I pull all of these off, we'll create a little like maybe a snowy decorative kind of composition. Okay, I need to push this tape down a little bit more because it was lifting a little bit. There we go. Did you? Yeah, I'm sure it was. And I mean, look, like washi tape is not a necessity. You can get like just regular generic tape. There's some good ones. I do think Meeden sells a pretty solid generic tape that looks like masking tape, but it's good for this kind of stuff. So if you're not looking to go fancy, you can buy the generic stuff too, and it works perfectly well. Fancy just does better on like reels and stuff, you know? Also, you can mix on this. You do have like on this paint, there's a little like palette. So if I wanted to make like a darker green, I could totally do that. Let me do that a little bit. So see, it's a little bit darker. I also do want to let this dry a little bit too, because then it's going to like, see how it's faded over here? Now I'm going to kind of go back in. I'm going to use my little paint mix that I just made. And I'm just going to go like this and kind of paint over it again with more circles. And as I said before, with anything, just make sure that if you're going to buy on TikTok at this point, check the shipping dates. If you're buying it as a gift for someone for the holidays, make sure it aligns with when you need it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this around a little bit more. I'm going to fill some of this white space in. And then some of that got a little bit sloppy, so I'm going to try and lift some of that up with my brush. And this Meeden set also does come with a brush. I can't find it on my mess of an art desk right now, but it's a gorgeous one, so just trust me on that. It does come with that. I do kind of like fancy too. I don't always like fancy. Like, I don't like getting super dolled up. It's, it's too much work for me sometimes. But I do like, I never thought I would like glitter, Deanna, but honestly, since I got those pens, I love playing with my glitters. This actually looks way cooler than I thought it would. I do want to paint this in a little bit though. Okay, so let's just tape lift after I dry a little bit, and then we can decide if I'm going to add anything else. I'm definitely thinking about maybe some silver stars. Like I could see silver on this. I mean, I could still do gold, but I could definitely see maybe some silver detail decorations on this. And then don't lift the tape until you're certain it's dry. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and lift. And if you are perfectly happy with your ability to sketch and paint inside the sketch, you also don't need the viral washi tape. Okay, so I would just like you to know that the tape does actually come off, but I got my nails done recently and they can't pick up anything. Okay, there we go. So this is not a washi tape problem. This is a Christine problem. And then I lift all of this up. I wish I was a better person and reused washi tape. I just don't. Partially because it gets wet underneath and it's just not as good anyway. Here we go. Oh, look at how cute that is. This needs to be a little bit darker maybe. And then what I would also do, I'm going to switch up my brushes here. What I would also do is I would go in a little bit and like water. This is like a glaze kind of over the top. And you don't have to do this, but I like to do this because it softens it up a little bit. And then I would do the same thing over here. And then the same thing here. Though this one seems much darker and I feel like this should be a little bit darker. Let me see. I've only just filled out the swatch strips to put the tops of them in. Oh, those are the ones that I love, Deanna. They're my favorite. I have way too many of them. Like I got one tiny set. Like I think I got the set of 12, and then I had to order the other ones because I loved them so much. I'll definitely be using them in this set little painting. I have this one. I have the big one. So like I have this set with all of the, you can see obviously I've got them all over the place, but it's a 72 set. And then I got another set. I got the 50 set that doesn't have all the sparkly ones, just the regular gel ones. And then I have a 24 set. So those are the ones I absolutely use. And they're pricier than I would have normally spent on something like that, but I've never loved sparkles so much as I do now, you know? And admittedly, I have not swatched everything out. Okay. This feels a little bit better. I think what I'm going to do now, I want to do this. I want to hit it one more time with the heat because I did add a wash over the top. Okay. And then I'll use my sparkles now probably. I was going to use, well, let me put in some trunks. Am I going to put trunks in? Yeah, probably. All right, let me go in and put, well, see, this is the problem. Like you paint live and then you're not always sure what you're going to do next. And then you're like, wait, what am I going to do next? I almost think like these are too big to do work on with this. Maybe I do it for something else. I think I'm just going to go in with some gel pens. So let me unpause that or unpin this and I'll show you the gel pens that Deanna was talking about. And just so you know, there's multiple size sets. I just posted the ones I own. So if you're looking at my shop, you'll see the ones that I own. And then there are deals where you can get $20 off. You can also get $7 off if you spend over $50. Free shipping no matter what size you get. So I'm going to pin the one that I'm currently using so you guys can see how big this set is and how amazing and beautiful it is. Okay, so this is the set right here. Okay, I'm going to zoom this out. Obviously, there's a couple missing in here because I moved them over to the other side, but they come with all sorts of colors. Okay, the first set I got, the box was damaged, so I don't have the original container for that. So I actually have them somewhere else. But I think the charm of this set, mostly for me, is all of these skin tone colors, which I would normally never have access to for glitter pens. But there is a skin tone set as well if you're interested. The other set I have sitting over here. And again, this is not this is not precious. Like, I'm not putting these in precious, but what I would like you to know is that these are not pointing down. So you're supposed to kind of lay them on their side. If you point them down, the ink could come out, right? Yeah, me too. So for me, when I'm like playing with these, I need to make sure I don't put them head down like this, because I have had instances where the ink does kind of pool a little bit. So just be mindful of that. Also, just know the silver does not come in the big set I just showed you. So if you want silver, like this is the silver one, I got this in the set, the 12 set. So you'd have to go and look at that one if you're interested. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. My only disappointment is that there's no black pens in the set. Like, I would prefer there to be a black, like, sparkly one, and they don't have that. They do have black gel pens in general for some of the sets, but just not this one. I think I'm leaning into doing a blue trunk with silver decorations. Do you guys have any other colors you think I should use? I love the swatch strips. Like, I don't think I put it on this. Yep. So if you look here, this comes out. I don't know if I can pull it out now. I don't know if I want to because I'll never get it back in. But here, I'll show you. Here are all the swatch strips you get with the pens. And then basically what you do is you like color them in, and then you tuck them into this portion of the pen so that you always have access to what they look like. And that's what it looks like on black versus white. And you can see the difference in tone and how they dry. Here, I'll just do one for you guys since I haven't put a swatch on the silver anyway, so you guys can see it. The only thing is, like, my poor eyes, my poor, like, fat fingers can't, like, hold these very well. Also, with my nails being done, like, they have no grip. So we'll see what kind of a hot mess this is, me trying to do this right now. But I'll show you anyways, because I think it's important for you guys to see kind of how it works. So I'm just going to go in here. I'm just going to, like, doodle on the little teeny tiny strip. Like that. Okay. Now this is super juicy, and I don't know if you can even see it that well right now, but it is super juicy. So I'm going to hit it with some heat before I stick it in the pen. Ah, like blew it away. Come back to me. And of course it like flipped upside down because of course it did. Ah, no, come back. Okay. Okay. I can't do this for very long. I'm going to burn my finger off. Okay. So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop it in here in this little, like, can you see it? Again, fat fingers, but it is worth it. And you can see I picked up some ink on the page, but then it is actually, is that actually on? Yeah, you can kind of see it. The color in here is not very good, but you'll see it on the page. There you go. You can kind of see it there, and you can definitely see it better on this one. But you can do it with all of the pens. Like, I have a couple more that I have swatched out. I can show you real quick. Like these two. I definitely swatched this one so you can see where I swatched it. And now every time I pick it up, I know the difference between this yellow and this yellow, right? So you've got like the champagne yellow, and then you've got also the orange yellow, which obviously I use the orange yellow a lot more than I use the champagne yellow. But you can see, and it shows you the difference between. Plus, clicky. I'm sorry, but like having to pull a cap off every time I'm trying to use a new color is super annoying. So it's nice to just be able to click it. But again, make sure that those clicks are unclicked when you're done with them, and make sure that they are either laying sideways or laying in a position where they're not going to pour out. Okay. So, yeah, Well, and I'm pretty sure a few flew off my desk. So that is not an uncommon experience because they are so tiny, which is a little annoying, admittedly. But how else are you going to do it, right? Okay, so I'm just going to go in here. I'm just going to give these guys little trunks. They're all going to have the same trunk, I think. Maybe one is a little bit wider. So like maybe this one is a little bit wider. Okay. And then another one right here. All right, children, you are done on your devices. Thank you. You're done on your devices. You've been on them for a while. All right, I'm going to put a silver star here so you guys can see the silver a little bit better. And then I'm going to just color that in. And then I'm going to put little, actually what I might do is I might just put little silver baubles on the tree like this. And then look how cute that is. Let's do it again. And just like that, you've got a cute little Christmas tree that's been decorated. I'll do it again up here. Ooh, I'm going to do a blue star on this one, I think.
What you're doing?
You know what I'm doing.
I know, but like, what are you painting?
Just playing with trees, tape trees.
They're so cute.
Thanks. And
Then come over here.
And I'm just doing some swirlies on this one. Like that. And then just now, like you can see, like look at that sparkle. It's just a little extra something that just hits the spot for me. All right, and then maybe I will do gold on this one. Let's do gold on this one. We're gonna do that champagne gold.
So cute.
Thanks, bud. Did you put all your clothes away?
Like on the ground?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with the ones that I'm gonna wear when we get there and when we come back.
Well, I would just like your clothes to not be on the ground. So can you make that happen?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Where should I put them?
Maggie, did you put your clothes away yet?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's cute. That worked out better than I honestly had no idea what I was doing when I did that. And that actually looks really cute. But then there you go. And I mean, I could add more to this tree. I still might, honestly. A winter windmill. That sounds really cute. I can't wait to see that. That'll be beautiful. I'm going to put stars on this, I think. Like more stars. Kind of like they're hanging off the garland. And then one up here. Like that. I don't know if that was my best choice, but it's not the worst choice I've ever made in my life. But I do really like the sparkles. I might do something else in there. Let me hit it with some heat. Maybe I'll add some gold to it too. Because like I said, these are pretty juicy, so they need to be dried before. Like if I have leaned on these so many times and then gotten ink all over my hands. Happens all the time. And again, these sets, like the set I'm showing you is the set that I use the most. But the only thing is like the one that I'll show you the other one too, because there's a couple of different sets that you can pick from. The ones that I have posted are the ones I own. I bought 2 of the 3. One of them I was gifted by the company. Let's see. This is the one that I was gifted by the company. I spent money on the other 2 expensive ones because I just loved them so much. They were worth it. But I also got a deal on them. Like a couple weeks ago they had really good deals. So, and the deals that you're looking at now aren't bad. You still get the free shipping. You still get the $7 off if you spend a certain amount of money. I think it's entirely worth it. It's a bigger price for an art supply, but again, worth it to me. I'm going to go in here with the gold, I think. You can layer these over the top. So I'm going in and just adding a little bit of gold to those stars. Let's do it to this one too. Why not? That looks a little bit more interesting to me. I think I'm going to leave it. I think that's good because I still want to do my fireplace painting. So if you're sticking around, yeah, so all of the trees were done in watercolor paints. These are from the Mead Advent Calendar. So I have this, which, where did the other lid go? So then this lid, which is mostly dry right now, I mix on it and then it kind of closes up. It's magnetized, which is really cute. I might actually take this with me when I travel next weekend. So I use that for the base, and then I use some washi tape from the Advent Calendar as well to create those little tree shapes. And you could do a ground, like you could do a background, you could do all sorts of stuff. That's not my style. I don't really do backgrounds very much. I like focusing on the item at hand, as it were. Okay. So I think I can't complain. Yeah, I know, right? Hi, Jamie. I definitely can't complain about the supplies that I'm using from that calendar for sure. And like I said, I did have a brush from that calendar, but do you think I can find it in my tower of art supplies? No, no, I can't. Okay, so again, those are the pens. I am going to paint. Oh, I love that blue on the side. It's almost like a teal green too, right? Look how pretty that is. Okay, I'm gonna do a fireplace next because that's what I've been kind of itching for. Actually, do I want to do a fireplace? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I keep like distracting myself with other things, but I think I'm gonna do a fireplace. So I'm gonna keep painting in my Funto journal because I've really enjoyed when I'm done with my journal and going back and looking at it, seeing all the things I've created in it. And I'm not really painting to sell per se. I'm painting to, show you guys how it works. And if I wanted to sell, I could always scan what's in my Funto journal and turn it into a digital product. So what do you need, dude? How about you get dressed? That might be a good idea. So you're not walking around in a blanket. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And then also, just so you guys know, I am using my Artify brush set. It's probably the cheapest brush set I own of all of my brushes. Artify has a really affordable set that I use pretty regularly. I think it's really good for a starter set. It's not luxe. It doesn't feel glorious when you're painting with it, but it does feel comfortable and it does give you a chance to work with all the brush heads. So like this is the one that I use. I don't think I put it on here though. Hold on, let me find it for you and then I'll show you which one I'm using. This is the one. And it's $17 and I think you probably have to pay for shipping, but again, I think it's completely worth it. Where did it go? I just pinned. There we go. Okay. So this is the one. It comes with all the different brush heads, which I think for a starting artist is really good to have access to a lot of different brush heads to figure out what you're comfortable with. And it comes with, in this case, the dagger, which is my favorite brush. It comes with a flathead. It comes with an angular brush. It comes with a cat's tongue brush, two round brushes. This is another dagger, so you have two different size daggers. And then it also comes with a quill, which is really fun because it holds a lot of water and you can do really loose artwork with this. So just some really good options for people who want to start but don't know what to spend. And this is not expensive. And it does give you a chance to try a little bit of everything. And they're a solid brush. Like I would say like Fumui is like my favorite brush sets because there's a smoothness to them that I love. Fumui and Christy Rice, but these are the brushes that I use when I'm just trying to play with different shapes because Fumui doesn't have all the different shapes and this does. So I really do like that as well. All right, so I'm going to use this brush. This is my favorite brush to use. I love a versatile dagger brush because it's got a point on it It also has the angle, which will create really smooth and beautiful like petal shapes as I'm working. So you're gonna kind of see me do that as well. Thanks for all of the hearts. Oh, bird nerd, you're the best. But everyone already knew that. Okay. So I'm thinking, how much do I need to sketch first? I should probably sketch a little bit, or should I? Meh. Who needs to sketch? We'll just make things happen. I am going to use my big paint palette though, because I want a bigger range of paints for this one. So I'm going to use probably a really light brown base. This is my Mead and Watercolor palette. I have the 48 set. I do believe they come in a 96 set as well, and also a smaller set than that. This one works for me. I love the greens in this set. Was it you I was talking to, Deanna, about how great the black green in this set is? I just love it. Okay, so we're just going to do a fireplace. We're going to do the top, just a standard swipe across the top, and then underneath it, I'm going to do like kind of like a light gray color, and then I'm going to build up some reds over the top. So over here, I'm going to mix up this gray with a brown just to keep it kind of in the same warm palette tone. Oh, did he? Silver's amazing. Silver's a great brush set. It's expensive though. I only have used silver for illustration purposes. So like I have some silvers that are, what do you call them? They're like just a couple of round brushes. Like that's all I have is just a couple of round brushes. And the person who got me hooked on that was Danielle Donaldson. She's an illustration watercolor artist, and she's fabulous. But she's the one who got me hooked on that, particularly for the detail work. So I do love the silver. Please don't get me wrong. I just don't use them that much. I don't use them as much as I probably should, but they're also older. I've had them for a while. And Deanna, I spent so much money when I first started. I really should not have. I wish I had picked more affordable options when I first started, but what did I know? I had no idea. I had no one to tell me what to buy except like the most expensive of things, you know? Like I have so many Daniel Smith tube paints. I thought my husband was going to have a heart attack because I spent so much money on art supplies when I first started. I do too. I do too. Is it it's like perline, but it's less granulated. So it's like this color right here. This one right there. But it's like they call it black green, but man, it looks really good. And it does granulate, not as much as Daniel Smith does though. All right, let's put speaking of green, I'm thinking of putting a little wreath on the top. So let's see how that looks. Actually, I'm going to grab this. And we're going to put that. Well, is that too big? It's a little too big. Let me find another circle on my desk that I could use. Maybe this one. It's all about taking your supplies and making it work. So I'm just going to go around with my brush. It's a little wet. It's a little green. And I'm just going to wrap it around. And then there's the shape that I need. And all I did was use the top of my gouache container. Okay. And then I'm going to create that wreath. Maybe put a few candles, maybe put a few leaves over the top here. I'm going to definitely paint some brick shapes in here and definitely put a flame in this area as well. I love Daniel Smith. It's great, but man, it's getting more and more expensive every day. So watercolor brushes are less, they're smoother. So like I could give you a quick example here. So I have an Artify set that has a lot more brushes that are a bit stiffer. Hi, honey. So like this might be an example of an acrylic brush set. It's got some smoothness to it, but it because acrylic paints are plastic.
Get ready.
Okay, they are a bit stiffer. They don't feel as smooth. They have a lot more snap to them. So if I go like this, it pops right back up. Whereas with a watercolor brush, now mind you, this is wet. It's a little bit slower in its pop up. Okay. So does that answer your question between the difference between the two? Yes, much more absorbent. They hold much more water. And find my paints are granulating. What causes that? Well, it's the paint itself. It's the paint. It could also be the paper. So granulation is something most practiced watercolor artists love. If that's not for you, then you need to buy paints that don't do that. So like for instance, Daniel Smith, like I can show you here. I'll show you on the side of my paper over here because these are granulating paints right here. So these are all like Daniel Smith kind of granulating because this is where I keep some of my Daniel Smith paints on hand. So I'll just like swatch them out for you. So if I grab this one's my favorite. My favorite Daniel Smith is Green Appetite, but they're super vibrant, but they leave like little dots, right? They leave little dots of like almost look like dirt sometimes. But like this one's really gonna do it because this is the Green Appetite. Okay, so you see all those little dots in there? That's granulating. Okay, so even if I lift some of this paint up, there's still all of these little dark bits in there. I love, love, love that so much. It's not for everyone. If you were going to pick a paint that's less granulating, Meeden generally does not have granulating paint. So if I take, let's say I just take this one, okay? And their paints can granulate. Some of their greens granulate a little bit, but not like that one does. If I go down like this, it's got a much smoother tone. There's a little bit of granulation in there, but it's going to paint down more like a smooth color. You're not going to see as much of the, um, I want to say grit or dirt in it. There's still a little bit of it, but this one almost looks like you put like salt in it and the salt won't go away. Yeah, it doesn't dissolve, Carrie. It's not really supposed to. I love granulation, but it's not for everybody. Like here's another one that's not going to granulate very well. So like this one. There's still little bits, but it's not going to be as much, right? It's this one. I love this one so much. This is like my favorite all-time green is the Green Appetite. But this one's also good. This one I think is the sea green. Let me see. I think it is. But you can already see. Also, the other thing is too, if your paper is cold press, you're going to see a lot more granulation because those little bits are going to tuck themselves into the texture of the paper, into the little grooves and dips, and then they're really going to pop out. So, and look at this one, like that's a Daniel Smith, and that doesn't look granulated at all, but it is one. It's generally pretty granulating. Let me see if I go over it again, if it picks up some more of that stuff. Yeah, you can see it a little bit more now, but this is the difference. Like Meeden paints, Daniel Smith paints. Meeden paints, so this set that I have over here, this set I think is like 30 bucks. Let me check. I'm going to check really quickly. Because I'm not selling Daniel Smith on here. They're so expensive. So the Meeden paints, like if you buy tubes right now, like the tubes that are in my shop, you can buy a set of, I want to see if it's still the same. You can buy a set of 48 paints from Meeden for $19.95. Okay. This in the case is not as cheap as that. But if you wanted to buy this specific case, this is a 48. This is $31.95. There is shipping for anything over $30. So you wouldn't pay shipping if you bought this. If you bought the tubes, you would pay shipping. But a Daniel Smith tube of paint can cost you $30 for one tube. So that's really the difference. Like this is considered expensive paint. This is considered medium when it comes to cost. Like you're not going to pay as much for this as you are for this because you're seeing more natural minerals in the paints. Does that make sense? Good morning, Chasing the Dream. You know what though? I love seeing this kind of stuff in leaves. I think it's way more interesting. Like when I'm doing flowers, I will jump on this stuff more than I will jump on this stuff. It also depends on what's accessible. Like I've got so many tube paints. God, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Okay. Let's go back in here. Actually, it did give me time to let this dry a little bit. So that's kind of good actually. But I'm going to keep using my Meeden for this because my goal is not necessarily granulation. All right. So I'm going to grab some of this and we're going to create some leaves. And we're just going to do, well, I'm going to create some kind of pinwheel lines here. And then we can work on creating some like pine needles. So you can do this. So you kind of see how that's kind of pulling together there. You can do that all the way around. You don't even have to do that everywhere. Like you could do it too. You could do just regular leaves kind of popping off here. You could do holly, you could do eucalyptus. I think I'm just gonna do pine needles all the way around. And then at this point, I'm just gonna use the tip of this dagger to kind of go in and push that all around. Thanks for all the follows. Oh, I do too. You know what though? Oh, absolutely. No problem at all, Carrie. I do love a bloom sometimes. Like, so for those of you who are unfamiliar, a watercolor bloom is when you have too much water on your page with your paints. Oh, look, I smooshed. I must have had some on my hand. When you have too much water in your paints, like right here. So you guys see that right there, where that kind of like, there's that line that's created when it dries. That's a watercolor bloom. And that happens when you paint and then you have a puddle and the puddle dries as a line. Okay. Now, I'm not super bothered by this right now because I'm going to be painting bricks over the top. So whatever is in there is not a problem. I just don't care because it's going to be covered up anyways as I work. So not a big deal. I'll show you right now. Actually, is this the size I want? I don't think I want a smaller. Yeah, I'm going to go with this. So again, from my Artify brush set, this is a perfect time to use this brush because I'm going to use it for the bricks. So I think for the bricks, I'm going to go with a warm red brown tone. So I'm just going to mix this over here. This is not a color I normally use, but it's going to be perfect for this. I am going to do, let's start with the side of the brush. I could do this. Let's see, how big is this? Is this going to be too big? It might be. Well, it is what it is. I already started it, so I guess we're going to just leave it the way it is. We're going to go back and forth like this all the way across. Like that. And then I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to keep doing that. Okay. So I'm going to mix. I'm going to come back over here. And don't worry about the colors all being exactly the same. Does not need to be because bricks are all different tones. I love painting fireplaces. I think it's because the bricks are so fun. And you've already got that like light, like clay layer underneath. That's kind of cool too. And right now it's getting a little dry. Like I would probably pick up some of this tone a little bit more. So I'm going to actually grab right out of my pan. I'm just going to throw it down in a few spots in here. So if it's, don't feel like you need to repaint everything. Sometimes it's more interesting when you only do some of them. And then I am going to try and darken up underneath here just a little bit. Like that. Okay. And then what I might do for the top is maybe have like I could do a wood top, maybe. Oh, it's so fun. You did a bridge with brickstone. Oh, that sounds amazing. Oh, thanks for the heart, me friends. Okay, I'm going to come back in here and do like this wood look. So I'm going to switch up my brush again. Yeah, so I start off with a base color and then I create wood line work over the top. So I'm going to use this one. This one's a size, I'm going to guess a 1. This is size 4. I don't think this is a size 4. This is probably closer to a 1. It depends. Every brush company labels their brushes differently. I can't keep track of it. So I think I want this to be this color actually. So I'm going to water this down a little bit more. And I'm just going to test out over here on this side. Like, what does that color look like? Does that match that? Yes, it does. So it's a little bit darker than that. So I think I'm just going to use that. I think that'll work pretty well. That's the nice part about sketchbooks. Again, these are not places to do precious work. These are places to figure things out. And I'm going to use just the tip of my brush and occasionally create these kind of like swirly designs. Think of like the wood knots that you see in a tree. and just mimic them. So just using, and you could do this with pencil too if you're not comfortable with a brush. But I'm creating this like wood line work. It's a little wobbly. There are spots where you've got like a little knot and sometimes you don't. It does not need to be super dark. You want it to be just a little bit darker. It's almost like doing a maze. Like the mazes that you used to do as a kid. Think of all of the lines and kind of creating like a maze lines. And then just find a corner and then just round it a little bit with some of that water so it looks a little bit softer. And I'm going to do that on the top as well. I think I'm just going to add water to the top. Just a light wash over the top. And now that looks like wood. Isn't that cool?
That's so cool.
Yeah, I think detail brushes are important. It's not that you can't have a good brush that doesn't create detail. Like these brushes are great. These are the quill brushes from Meeden because the tips are super fine and you can do detail with them. But you need to be real comfortable with brushes to do that kind of work. For me, I like to just switch back and forth sometimes and try all the things. Okay, so this is pretty dry. I've got this green thing happening over there. I'm gonna, hey, could you do me a favor, bud?
Yeah.
Could you refill this and get me clean water? I need to clean a little slop on my paint and I can't do it with dirty water. You're the best. No, just clean this. Yeah, I don't need you to take it. You're the best, thank you. And then for those of you who are like, what are you doing, Christine? I'm gonna be ripping off a piece of magic eraser and I'm gonna use this to clean this. And it's not gonna be perfect, okay? But it will improve the situation, all right? So I can lessen this with the magic eraser. So I'm just gonna wait for my son to do that for me. I'm gonna definitely put some fire in here. We'll definitely do some pieces of wood. I'm also gonna put up like, those black wrought iron like covers. I'm gonna put that up over here as well. So while he's grabbing that for me, do you guys have, oh, you're welcome. I don't think that, I would say that there's not all the brushes for Michaels are not cheap and terrible, but I think it's not an unreasonable thing to consider getting these brushes. These aren't expensive. Like at least not to me. There are a lot more expensive brushes out there. These don't hold the best amount of water, but they're perfect for trying out the different style of brushes because it comes with all sorts of brush heads. I've showed you this before, but I'll show you it again. This comes with 2 round, okay? So these are the 2 round, maybe even 3. I feel like I'm missing one right now. I'm definitely missing one right now. I think it's another round brush. But these are the brushes that it comes with, okay? And I love daggers. This is why I love this set so much because it comes with 2 different size daggers. It comes with a cat's tongue brush, which is great for florals. It comes with this angular brush, which is like a dagger, but a little bit sharper. It comes with the 2 round brushes and a flathead brush. And then it comes with the quill brush, which I know a lot of people want to try. It's really fun for big, gorgeous shapes. So, and my son's awesome. He just brought me clean water. Thank you, bud. Appreciate you. Okay, so I'm going to show you with this how I'm going to get this off because it's irritating me right now. And if I don't get it right now, I'm going to be irritated the rest of this time. So, hi, Stacy. I'm going to actually just go over real light. You can see it's picking up the paint like that. And then just go back over it again with the cleaner edge, the one that's not wet. And then it's almost gone. Nope. So it's not perfect, but it's better. It's better than it was. And then if you want to add detail over there, you're not super committed to the green drop, you could put something else over there that maybe isn't as obvious. See, now you wouldn't even know it existed unless I pointed it out to you. So again, magic eraser, I just rip off hunks and then you do need clean water. You're not going to be able to pull that off with dirty water as well, just so you know. Okay. So I just thought that was kind of cool. Did you? I'm so glad. You will like it. You will genuinely like it. They're a lot more, the water replacers are not as cheap as you would think they are. Or maybe you don't think they're cheap. They're really not cheap. They're fabulous though. I love my water replacer. He is very precious to me because he's a great cheerleader for sure. Oh, thanks for the coffee. I appreciate you. let's see here. I want to make sure I'm hitting up all the comments in here. Mm-mm-mm. And there's nothing wrong with expensive ones either. Like I have some expensive brushes in my collection that I use. Like I have plenty of Princeton brushes, but I just find you don't need them to do the job, right? Like, and there have been plenty of like I bought this brush. I don't know why I bought this brush. I'll show you. This brush is a fabulous brush, and I will never use it. Look at it. It looks like someone stuck their finger in a light socket, and it's a dagger. This is a dagger, and this is a dagger, just to give you comparison notes. And this is from King Art, but like I'm sure, other companies have them too. Look at the two differences between this dagger. This is considered a dagger brush, but it's so loose. It's almost for someone who is like painting with their hand on the very edge and they're like painting like this super loose. I just can't paint like that. I thought I knew what I was getting, and then I was like, oh, yeah, it's very staticky for sure. But I started teaching myself how to watercolor this year, and that's totally fine. Look, I don't think there's anything wrong with going cheap. I think whatever it means to get you to do the art, that's what you should be doing. And I spent way too much when I started. And in retrospect, I didn't need to. It was unnecessary. Like so much of that time, that money spent that my husband was having anxiety attacks about, I needed it to like keep going because I felt like that's what I needed. But in the same respect, I could have been buying the supplies I'm using now and been just as happy. But I didn't have any guidance. I was taking watercolor classes online, and they were experienced watercolor artists who used the best of the best because they knew it was the good stuff. And I don't blame them. I just, sometimes we make decisions based on what we see without, fully vetting if it's a good supply or not. And, I'm sure you're wondering if I am fully vetting things for you. And I try, I really do. And if you're not sure, I can show you like my art desk is covered in so many, like, look at the stacks of art supplies that I have vetted for you. And I can't show you them all, but I can answer questions if you have them. And I can tell you what I love and what I don't. Because there are definitely things that I don't love. But I love that this brush set has all the brush heads. That's what I love. Is it the most amazing brush in the world? No, no. But you don't need the most amazing brush in the world when you're starting. You need to figure out what you love. And I know that I figured out after using Christy Rice's brushes, her dagger brushes, that I love daggers. I love daggers because of her brushes, but now I love all daggers. And I just want people to have access to trying things, if it's in your budget. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being a paper snob. I use the top of the core paints. Oh, me too. Did you see mine? Did you see my mix? Yes. I love the core paints for that. Is that a hair? What's that? That looks like a hair. It probably is. Who knows? But yeah, I use them all the time. And these are tube paints too, guys, just so you're curious. I actually got some Blick art supplies, and I'm going to be trying those out soon because I've never tried Blick art supplies. And and they have watercolor pencils, which I really want to start like promoting a good company for watercolor pencils. So I'll be interested to see if they live up to what I'm hoping they will. All right, I'm going to go in here and just darken up this corner a little bit, kind of like it's the inside a little bit of that fireplace. I'm also going to darken up this side just to give that same like 3D effect. I'm going to also do it on this side, just a little bit. Okay. All right, what am I doing next? I think I want to do more on the wreath while this is kind of drying. So I'm actually going to flip this over. I have a little water drop on here that I'm going to pick up with my magic eraser. I'm really terrible about paper towel. I used to use paper towel all the time. I don't use paper towel at all anymore. I use my brush to lift mistakes off the page, or if it's really bad, I use this. Okay. Let me do a bow on this. What kind of bow should I do? Should I do the standard red or should I change it up? What do you think? Yeah, I mean, so I'll show you really quickly. Wait, I got this from Blick. This is the Art Pop watercolor pencils. I haven't even opened it yet. I'm going to be playing with it today. I'm assuming they'll be good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The best watercolor pencils I've ever worked with were a gift from an art company I don't even talk to anymore because they were so expensive. I could not imagine promoting them, but I love them. These are the ones that I use for a lot of my videos. These are Karst, K-A-R-S-T. This is the company. They're not on TikTok. I wish they were, but they're not. They're the best watercolor pencils I've ever worked with, but they're incredibly expensive. Like they are a luxury item. And to this day, I generally don't talk about them very much because I don't want people to be overwhelmed because I'm overwhelmed looking at the price. Is there a big difference between Graby and Meeting? Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm not going to bad talk any company because I do think Graby does really good art supplies for certain things, but I think Mead and paints are way better than Graby paints. And then as far as like paper goes, I can't speak to the paper. I've never used Graby paper. At least I don't think I have. Pink. You use flour sack towels. That's smart. Let's see. Mine was Inktense. What was Inktense? Oh, the watercolor pencils were Inktense. I found a good set of chalks that I use for watercolor, way cheaper than paint. Oh, interesting. Oh, the Graby brushes. Do they have brushes? Oh my God, I don't even know. They've reached out to me a few times for a couple of art supplies, and I'm just generally not interested. Like, I have one of their little paint palettes, and it's fine. It's nothing special. It doesn't excite me. All right, I think I'm gonna do a pink bow because that seems a bit more unexpected. So let me do that. And I think I'm just gonna do it right here. So I'm gonna go, is this the size I want? No, this is too big. I'm gonna get the smaller dagger. Give me just a second. Okay, so this smaller dagger is a size 6. And I'm just gonna grab this bubblegum pink. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna mix it over here first. I'm gonna mix it with some of the shimmer from the pan. It's gonna diminish the tone a little bit, but I'm probably gonna mix media over it anyway. I want it to be a bit more of a champagne pink. Okay, let's see if I can pull that off because I'm painting over something. So we'll put it here. Yeah, that's the only thing, right? Because I'm gonna have to paint over this wreath. So we'll see if I can pull this off because there's already a significant amount of paint under that. I might just have to go with the bubble gum. Let me make that a little bit more intense. And what I also could do is I could use my watercolor crayons to make that pop even more. Well, let's just leave that there for right now. All right, I am going to round that off a little bit more, sharpen it off a little bit more, I should say. I probably should have been more mindful, but I paint so much on the fly that I can't be mindful for everything. It's just not possible. And then I'm definitely going to put some baubles in this guy, I think. But I promise you, this will fix. I will fix that up. Okay. Standing in front of the fireplace. What are we standing in front of the fireplace? The pigments definitely could be better. I think it's just it's definitely not granulating. Let's put it that way. It's definitely not doing that. Oh, I know. It's the first time I've painted all week in sunshine. It makes my heart so happy. I hate painting at night. Oh, you're standing in front of your fireplace right now? I love that. Okay, so what should I put up top on here? Like while I'm thinking, because I'm gonna keep letting this dry. What should I put on top next to this? I'm thinking candles, maybe? What do you guys think? What should I put on the mantle? Actually, while you're doing that, I'm gonna start working on the fire. So I'm gonna go in light first. And then I'll put some wooden logs underneath that. Hi.
Almost
Hmm?
done.
No.
Oh.
You're not leaving for another hour, right?
Leaving in 50 minutes.
Okay, so you have time. I have time. I will do your hair soon, I promise. You'll be all right. My daughter has a meet today, so she wants me to do her hair. That's what you're waiting for, right? Yeah, I'll do your hair, I promise.
I took my earrings out.
Okay. All right, so that looks pretty cute. I like that. I'm going to add a little bit more color to that on the inside. Okay, and then I'm going to put some yellow on the inside. Did I say hello to you, show and tell? I don't know if I did. I saw you and I thought it, and then I just thought, I'm like, did I actually say hello? Hello. Oh, maybe a small Christmas tree in pink. Oh, a rocking horse or a bell with candles. Is it really? A little tree. You guys want a tree on the mantle. Okay.
I have 2 dark towels, so put those.
Maybe don't leave it here. Leave it in the kitchen because that's probably where I'm going to do your hair. All right, I'm going to go into this first, I think, and just build up a few more like details in this because it's kind of annoying me right now. It looks too faded. Yeah.
For dinner, we're gonna get pad thai. Do you want us to pick you up?
Let me think about it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'm just building up some layers on top of this wreath here a little bit, so it's a little bit more interesting. It'll also hide the pink because I'm going to do it behind the pink like this. So then it pops out a little bit more because the dark green is kind of underneath. This would be a good time to add like what do you call it? A pine cone. But I feel like I've already gone a little too dark, so I think I'm going to leave the pine cone out of it for right now. Okay. And then you guys wanted a tree, so I'll do a little tree. I could probably do a couple. Do we want the trees to be green? I'm going to say yes. Okay, so we've got a little tree there. I'm going to put another one next to it, maybe a little bit lighter. Just keeping it simple, you know? And then maybe another one over here in a light, maybe that champagne pink color. I need to pink that up a little bit more. Looks a little bit close to the edge right there. Which, oh well. And then maybe I could put some greenery over the top as well. My aide cleaned the palette I was using for painting. Oh no. Red, well, I think I'm going to put ornaments in here or berries, but I think I'm going to use sparkle pens for that, actually. At least that's what I'm thinking right now, so we'll see where that goes. I'm going to go over this again now that it's a little bit more dry. Trying to pick up that bow and pull it out a little bit more. And sometimes you just need to let it dry to make that work. I was really hoping I could go for a light bow, but I think because I had already done the green over the top, I have to lean into something a little bit darker than that. Okay. I think this needs a little bit of garland over the top. I think I'm also going to add a few more little trees because these are cute. Oh, I bled a little bit into that tree. That's okay. Do another little tree down here. Maybe another pinky one.
That looks so good.
Thanks, honey. All right. Scooty Doots, my friends.
That does look really good. Though.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to sharpen up that flame a little bit more. And then we're going to do details probably with some crayon and with some pen over the top. I think that's kind of where this will finish off because that's usually what I do. I love, I'm going to get a little bit more sparky. Like that. Well, I don't know if I like that actually. Let's wet that down. Okay. And then we'll definitely put like a wrought iron cover over the flame as well. Yeah, definitely like garland draped off the mantle. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, that's such a cute idea. Can I do that? Am I going to do that? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So if I'm going to do that, I have to cover this up, which it's going to be another battle like I did with the bow where I'm going to have to kind of figure that out. So rather than battle that, because I really do like that popcorn and cranberry idea, I'm going to use the bleed proof white and see if I can make some popcorn with that. But I need to make it tiny because this is a fireplace. So let me see. I will add a bit of color over that as well, though. Oh God, what am I doing? Is this a mistake? This might be. Probably should have made the lines first. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I didn't ruin it. Oh God. There are definitely moments, friends, where you have these feelings if you're an artist. Even the best artists, even the artists that are like, wow, they make everything look so easy. It's not. It's not. We try that goal is for us to make it look easy. Like that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make people feel like they can do this too, you know? Okay, let's go in with nope, I'm gonna hit this with heat first because I don't want it to bleed into the berries if I add them in, you know? My kiddos are 8, 11, and 12. So when I started painting, which was 5, 6 years ago, they were 3, 5, and 6. Is that right? 2, 3, 5, and 6. And that like 2 to 6 range. So when I started painting, which was during COVID, my kids were in kindergarten and first grade. That's when that happened for us. And my son was in pre-K. All right, I'm going to mix over here because I want to make sure I'm picking a color that feels authentic for the berries, but also hits the palette right. I want to make sure. I don't know. I'm just trying to get it right here. And I'm hearing doggos run around like maniacs. Let me see what this one looks like. I can always change it up as I'm going. All right, let's just go in and see what happens. I need a smaller brush though. Ah, glad I caught that before I did anything. This is called Bleed Proof White. It is watercolor. It's just super concentrated. So I could go back over this and reactivate it. But it is watercolor. It's just it's like a dry medium on the inside and you add water to your brush and then you mix it around and you're able to do all sorts of stuff with it. Actually, I'm going to go in and do a little bit of, let's see if I can do it here. My messy palette. This is a little bit dry. So I'm going to go in and add a little bit of yellow over the tops of this white popcorn just so that it doesn't look super white because popcorn doesn't usually look that white. Just a little bit, making them a little dirty, you know? I'm also going to go in and add, no, I'm not. I'm going to do the berries right now. Do we like it? So far, so okay? I'm also gonna pencil up this guy too, so you guys will see. Like if it's not obvious now, it'll be a little bit more obvious when I go back in with the pencil. I'm probably gonna add glitter pen to some of these as well. Okay, I'm gonna go back into that bow. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix that bow. Okay, that looks a little bit better. All right. And then is this dry? Yes, it is. So I'm going to go in and do the last bit of paint over the top here. And then everything else is going to be mixed media. Okay. Thank you. Make sure I'm hitting up all these comments. Okay. Let's use, I'm just going to go right for the black because you can mix your own black, but I just don't care enough to do that today. All right. So I think I'm going to start here. Create these little posts. I'm just going to cut across, create a little post. Like that. And then across, and then up like that. And then you've got your little protective barrier for the fire. I could probably make this a little bit, well, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I think it's good enough. You ever have that point where you're on a painting, you're like, I've been painting for a while. Am I over it already? I don't think I'm over it, but I'm getting close. Okay. I am going to go in now and I'm going to hit it with some heat and then we're going to start to use probably some pencil first, then some pen. I don't know if I'm going to use watercolor crayon. We'll see. Let me hit this up with some heat. I think I'm definitely going to use crayon. So we're done with the paint. Oh, thank you, Roberto. I'll show you the crayons that I'm going to use. I'll use the crayons first. Also, my phone is at 17%, so I really will have to be done in a little bit. Okay, so these are my crayons. Yeah, these are my crayons. I love them. They're all saying hello to you because they're little bears. They have little bear hoods on them. All right, and I'm going to use probably this peachy color because it's one of my favorites. I use it all the time. And I'm just going to kind of go over this little bow to kind of create the opacity that I struggled with for almost most of the painting because there was paint underneath the bow when I started painting it. So if you're not going in mindful, if you're not sketching, I definitely recommend these because you can go back over them. And I can also add water to this and blend it all out if I really wanted to. I don't, but I could. I absolutely could. Okay, and then next I'm gonna go in with, yeah, like that. Ugh, am I over this already? That over this feeling for sure. Okay. We're gonna go into the popcorn with a lighter yellow, lemon yellow, I think. Just gonna add a little. Ooh, it came off like a real pastel there. I know that real popcorn is not this yellow, but that's okay. Okay. And then I might add a little bit of that inside the fire as well. And then I might put some in this, but not too much because I do want to go over it with a glitter pen. Just little bits, little soft bits around the edges. You see why I love it so much? So good. Thanks for the share. I appreciate it. Okay, and then I want to go into those bricks with some interesting tones. So I think I'm going to start with burnt sienna. I'm just going to add it in certain spots to warm up the brick a little bit. You don't need to put it on everything. These are marketed for kids, but I'm a kid. I'll always be a kid at heart. And then you can see how much more vibrant that looks. And then I'm going to go in there with a darker tone. The reds are pretty red, so you're not going to find too many dark reds in this set, but I could still go in with this if I wanted to. I think of this as probably the darkest red that I have. So even if I go in just a little bit and then smush it around and soften the effect so it's not super vibrant, it still brightens it up. Yes, honey.
Do you have an idea of what I could pack for lunch? Snack-wise?
No. Can you ask me when I'm done? Which I should be done soon. I'm at 15% on my phone. Okay? Okay. And then we'll talk. Okay. I think, all right, let's pen this up. I think pens and then some pencils when I'm done will be how I finish this. All right. So I'm going to use, this is that watercolor pencil I was showing you earlier. I need to sharpen it though. I might just use the Stabilo instead because I don't know. Like my art supplies are falling again because, you know, like I said, I have too many and they're stacked everywhere. This will work. I guess this will do. Okay. So I'm going to go in here with this pencil. I'm just going to sharpen up corners and tops and curves and bottoms. So like in here, underneath. I like that. I like it because it makes the painting pop more, but I don't outline everything. Even the bow. You're going to see like it becomes a bit more whimsical with this kind of like illustration involved, but I like it. I'm going to go ahead and create what's connecting all of the vine together or the garland. Like that. And then I'll definitely add a little bit more to the flame even underneath and around these bricks as we finish up. I should probably, hold on. I need to like make that more brick-like on the side. That's irritating me. Hold on a second. It doesn't have to be a lot, but I definitely want that brick to be more evident, even if it's at a little bit of an angle there. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Okay, sorry. That stopped me for a second. Right? Doesn't it just make it like, it just brings it back. It brings it back, and any moments of frustration are kind of, they stop existing, you know? Because you're like, oh, look what I did. All right, I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna make some of these popcorns a little more poofy with little cloud kind of line work around them. Because now it's starting to look a little bit more like popcorn, yes? At least I hope so. It's like creating little tiny clouds like that. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the pens. Excuse me. The little trees are so cute. I can't wait to finish those with the pens because that's where the pen work is going to come in, I think. At least in my brain, that's what I'm thinking. So let me pin these for you guys. I'll pin the smaller set because I don't have the big set really cracked open right now. I have the smaller set ones. So let me go in. We're going to really detail this guy up. If you're interested in the bigger set, you will get, I think you get free shipping on any of them. I'm going to move my paints because I don't need them anymore. The big set is the one that I got the best deal on. That's this one. I'll put it here. You guys can see it. And it comes in this beautiful case. I still have to open up the other one that I bought. I have not opened that one up yet, but look at. They're so pretty. But this is not the big set. The one I have pinned is not the big set. The big set is still located in the shopping cart, though, if you're interested. All right, so let's use the gold first. And see how that got kind of mushy in there? That tree got a little bit messy. Actually, I'm going to go in here and use the pencil one more time, just for the top of these trees. Then it looks like it was meant to be that way. These little baby triangle trees. All right, I'm going to put a gold star on that one. And then a champagne gold star on this one. That same champagne one over here. Teacher star. This is why I became a teacher, so I could make stars in my paintings. That's what I'm going with. Okay, and then we'll do the silver for this one. Actually, I'm going to do a red for that one. Hold up. Let me get my red. And this one I swatched. You can see it swatched right there. What it looks like in the swatch. Okay. So I'm going to make that one red. And then I'm going to go into the berries and add the sparkle to those berries. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see the sparkle happening. Do you see it? Look at that sparkle. I should probably add some pink to these as well. I'll definitely add some pink to the bow, some pink sparkle. You can kind of see that all happening. I'll add a few more those spaces. And then let's go to the bow. I'm definitely going to add another bit of pink to that bow. I want this, we already kind of committed to it, so I'm going to go with this pink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here a little bit with this and then smush it with my finger. And then you get like, it's almost like a painting. So I don't know if you can see the shimmer, but let me try it again. It's partially because I used the crayon in here, so it's not like, it does not play well with the crayon, admittedly. You can see that though a little bit, right? Yeah, I can see that. Okay. And then I'll put in here probably, oh, I said I was going to put it inside the wreath, didn't I? All right, here we go. Little baubles in the wreath. I think I'm going to change it up so it's not just pink either. And this one's not super vibrant in here. So like as opaque as they are, I'm going to put some red ones in here too. And this is so busy. It's so much busier than I intended for it to be. I'm going to add a little bit more red in here. All right, I'm going to go back in here and outline these just a little bit. No, not this one. Where did the other pencil go? Yep, this one. And I mean, obviously, you do you. Like, if you like it a little more simple, then don't go crazy like I did, you know? But I feel like now, if I'm going to zhuzh it up, I should zhuzh it up. I'm done, I think. This still needs to be a little bit darker. I'm going to add some crayon to that, I think. And then some of that brown. And I think it's done. I think it's done. Super dazzly, top of a fireplace, crazy busy. Some people, that's their vibe. Admittedly, I have not decorated for Christmas because I've been so busy, but this is me decorating for Christmas. This is me painting. Painting is me decorating. I'm decorating for you guys. Thanks, Darlene. I think this turned out fun and great. So good. And then what did I? Oh, and I painted these guys first with you guys today. And look how cute they ended up being, those little tape trees with just some pen detail over the top. But this is the glorious one. This is the one I love the most. Just love a fireplace. They're so satisfying. But anyway, does anyone have any questions before I scooty doots? Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so glad you came and hung out. Love it. I might be back later today. I will not be on tomorrow, but I'll probably be back Tuesday. And then just so you guys know, I will not be here next weekend or the following week. I don't think I will be going live at all during that time. So this is the week before you get to hang out with me, okay? All right. So again, Funto, that is what I used to paint on today. All the pages are super thick. You can see the texture of the paper is fabulous. I used these silky crayons for all of the soft work that I added on top of this. I used the pens. These are the pens that you see here, the ZSCM pens, to do all of the shimmery little stuff. So if you, I'm going to zoom because it's easier. So all that shimmer that you see, that's all the pens. The watercolor today was mostly Meeden, with the exception of a few other bits, but you can see, like, here's my Meeden palette. That is also in the shopping cart. And then those trees that I started with today, those were from this little teeny tiny paint palette that I got from the Meeden Advent calendar. So I used this and I used the washi tape to make those trees. So lots of things in my shop that you could use. Make sure if you're buying anything as a gift for someone that you're mindful of the shipping times, because I don't know how long it's going to take for any of that to ship to you guys. I can tell you what it would take to ship to me, but obviously that is not going to match your vibe. So definitely take a look at that if you are shopping today. If I don't see you before the holidays, have a wonderful Christmas. Otherwise, I will be around on and off for the next few days. Okay? All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I love chatting with you and hanging out with you. And I hope you have your best Sunday. Bye, guys.